We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak, sponsored by Renaissance Bank. Today is Wednesday, August 1st, and I'm your host, Elizabeth Walters. We're going to take a look at today's top news and sports stories across Northeast Mississippi, but first, let's start with your weather forecast. Today we'll have a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 86, and over the next 3 days we'll have partly cloudy skies, and on Thursday we'll have a high of 87 and a low of 69, Friday a high of 89 and a low of 70, and on Saturday a high of 89 and a low of 71. Now let's take a look at today's top headlines. It looks like Tupelo Mayor Jason Shelton will have a financial loss from his brief bid for the U.S. Senate. According to federal campaign finance filings, Shelton received a total of about $61,000 in campaign donations and loaned his campaign about $14,000, all while spending about $57,500 on the campaign. As of the campaign finance filing date, Shelton returned about $14,500 in donations, with some donors declining to take offered refunds. At the close of the last federal campaign reporting period, Shelton's campaign had only about $3,000 in cash on hand, and his personal loans to the campaign had not been paid back. Campaign staff consumed much of Shelton's campaign cash. Shelton briefly ran for the now retired Thad Cochran's seat, and he said he is not actively looking at running for statewide elected office in 2019, even though he wouldn't categorically rule out the idea. And the Justice Court will soon join other courts in Leake County adopting the use of electronic records. The county will spend around $15,000 to digitize some records after the Board of Supervisors voted last week to approve a contract with the Windward Group. The firm will scan court documents and convert them to digital files. And Chancery Clerk Bill Benson said the initial effort will focus on pending cases, including both criminal and civil. The money for this contract will come from a pre-existing budget line item for digital processing. Benson said it will take a couple budget years to digitize everything that's active. And Shannon High has a new principal. Jason Arledge will take over after the resignation and retirement of Bill Rosenthal in late June. Arledge was previously the assistant principal at Shannon Middle School for the last 4.5 years and has worked in the Leake County School District since 2006. Since Rosenthal's resignation left the board less than a month to find a replacement, the job was not posted to candidates outside of Leake County. Members of Shannon High's P16 Council expressed concerns that the hire was made without community input. But Superintendent Jimmy Weeks said that they do not take into consideration input from teachers or the community during the hiring process. P16 is a community-based entity that brings together stakeholders to improve a school's achievement and health. Member Harold Arrington said that the group was protesting the hiring process, not Arledge. Shannon was considered a low-performing and priority school by the State Board of Education until it received back-to-back C ratings for the 2015-16 and 2016-17 school years. And in sports, the Coca-Cola Junior Golf Tour will wrap up today in Starkville. After the first day, Boonville's Austin Lauderdale had a 2-over-74 and holds a 4-stroke lead over the next closest golfer. Nettleton's Sarah Rapper finished Tuesday in second place, shooting a 16-over-88, only 2 shots behind leader Kara Hilburn. 7 champions will be named later today from the various age groups, and you can follow Dalton Middleton on Twitter for updates from the tournament. And that does it for Newsbreak on this Wednesday. Don't forget that this is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you news off the page and on the go. Each story discussed on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal and online at djournal.com, where you can also find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Walters. Have a great afternoon.